All right. All right. SEO coaching, SEO consulting mastermind here on YouTube. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. And don't forget the SEOmastermind.org. Sorry for running behind. I always forget to click on the Live Now button. Coming next week, I was getting my partner in doing this. His name is Michael. I won't say his last name, but Michael is just saying, hey, man, I thought we were going to do that really awesome, there's a thing called Restream. And I wanted to promote it during the week so I could have people sign up to see how popular it'll be so we can all meet together in the same room. So my apologies if you were hoping for that this week, but I'll promote it so that way there's a sign up. Because it's a stream link that we can all go to so we can all show up together like in a Google Meet. All right. So with that being said, I want to go down the list. This will be, a hot seat type session where I'm looking to help you. I'm looking to help you with your issues that could be with on-page SEO, technical SEO, local SEO primarily. I also dabble with affiliate assets. The SEO is very, very similar. Along with that, Google Maps, Google Business Profiles, I have you covered. All right. So I'm going to go through. If you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and ask it. I'm here to help you. All right. So I'm here to give you my time so I can help you with your problems. All right. Now, if we run out of questions or run out of particular issues to handle, fires, however you want to look at it, then we'll move into finishing up our on-page optimization training. This will be a mini training at SEOmastermind.org. Once the on-page optimization training is done, I'm thinking that we're going to do Google Business Profile and start just breaking down the pieces of SEO, local SEO, like starting with hosting, right? Like, hey, which host to choose? How do you set up a host? How do you change your registrar and name servers? Like literally the basics. And then we'll work our way up into some might think it's intermediate level and or advanced, or some people might think it's super advanced, but we'll work our way up to it. All right. I think I gave it enough time. Today is our regular mastermind session. I just want to point out SEOmastermind.org. We have two separate sessions that start at 12 noon. I have a testing group where I'm happy to, include your tests. Like I share my tests, whatever I'm working on, in order to get answers of, hey, what's working, what's not working. And then we go into another group session that's much like this, where I teach the mini trainings and or answer questions. And then we finish it all up here on YouTube, all on Thursdays. It's a big day. It's the training day, right? So I see that there is some questions here. So enough yakking. I didn't eat yet though. And this granola and yogurt is calling me. It's really calling. I'm not going to lie here. My stomach is burning just a little bit. But it's a work day, right? So that's what I'm doing. But it's not. Is it really work though? Because I really enjoy doing this. All right. So let's go ahead and start up here at the very, very top. All right. Replaced by pin. Oh, how come my messages are getting kicked out here? Why can't I see this? Articles. Man, I can't get up there. Let me see if I make this bigger, if I can see it. Nope. Oh man. Here, let's get rid of this. Unpin. All right. So Adair says, hey, Chris, don't know if I'll make it back in time. So here's my early question. Within the depth of concept for a service, can the location pages and the articles interlink, continued below, to each other? Or should they just point to the top level service page, and do location pages need articles to point to them? And do location pages and articles need to point to them? This is a brilliant question. All right, so here, I'm going to illustrate utilizing the whiteboard since this is a coaching session, and the goal here is to really drill down into each of the questions. All right. Mind my drawing. I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. But I want to make this hyper clear. All right. So you have your website.com. Okay. And then you have a service, let's just say, okay, to make it simple. Then you have website.com/service. Okay. And you can either create what is called a hard silo or use parent-child. You can use the parent-child formatting, or, pillar page and child page, or you can also have your service page where it's service plus location. Okay. Both ways are correct. I just want to make that clear. I use both of them when we're doing work for clients. All right. But just for sake of the video, I'm going to use a hard silo for parent-child. All right. And then I'm going to draw this out to answer the question that was asked. Hey, do these need to interlink? The answer is yes, but it has to be done in a way that makes sense, right? Because we're building depth of concept. So what I would mean by this is service dash, it would be written like this, location. Okay. Now we have service, top level page, and then we have service plus location. Again, this is a hard silo, but you can build service plus location pages flat if you want to, but I still love to have a top level page in order to interlink everything. Now let's do a illustration. And again, I'm not a artist. Okay. But I'm going to do my best. Okay. So we have, remember, top level page, and then we have our service plus location, service plus location. Remember here, so here it is drawn out here, service plus location. Okay. And then here, I'll even to make this to explain this even better. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I forget which one it is. Okay. There, I've moved that enough. Service plus location. And then here, this right here is the home page. So you have home page, and that's going to be linked to primary service. So this is primary service, home page, service plus location, service plus location, service plus location. All right. But then we also have, don't forget, we also have information, because we need to be able to round out or answer the questions, aka build depth of concept based upon a primary service. So don't forget, we have information. And also, one more time, information. Now, by no stretch of the imagination are these drawings depicting the amount of informational content you should have. In fact, you should have 6 or 7 pieces of content to answer simple questions like who, what, when, why, where, how, and do a best of. All right. These are generally the informational queries that we're looking to answer. All right. So with that being said, now you can see the interlinking. And to answer your question, should I interlink these pages? Well, I want to make a note here. These service pages are about one service. Remember, service, you have your home, right? So home, which is this page. And then you have home plus service, that's this page. Okay. Then you have service plus location pages, that's these. Okay. And then you have your informational content, which are these. Okay. But all of these pages, this one, all of these, this, all of these are underneath the primary service page. My depth of concept is built with information and also city pages. Now, to answer your question specifically, do I interlink all of these? Absolutely, 100%. Yes, I'm interlinking all services, if they're in the same state, to one another. Okay, if I'm in the same state, this is the same service, same exact website, same state, same service, different cities and the information. Yes, I interlink all of those cities that are doing the same service, and I interlink all of the location, all the supporting pages, 1,000%. Generally, what we're going to have is here, in the sidebar, this is where you'll have your who, what, when, why, where, how questions. Those interlinks, you put it in a sidebar. It's just easy. Just put it in a sidebar. So to answer your question, yes, I'm interlinking all city pages and also the top level page, this page here, the top level service page, to the information, and also my top level pages here, my city pages, I should say. All right. And that's how you're building your depth of concept. It's all based on whatever the service is. All right. So I hope I answered that for you. Okay. Next, we have a question from Only Natural Designs. Hey, Chris, I've got an existing site for home remodeling, but I set up the menu to show informational content and those pages are not ranking. How do I know if I change the menu and internal links? How do I know if I should change the menu and internal links? Should I change to my services? Or just add services to that menu? Okay. So you have an existing site for home remodeling, but I've set up the menu to show informational content and those pages aren't ranking. How do I know if I should change the menus and internal links? Okay. The menu, so head, footer, right? These sections, which are linked site-wide, are going to our top level pages. So our top level service pages, okay? So header and footer is going to lead to our top level pages, our primary service, high commercial intent pages. Our most important pages are linked site-wide. On top of that, a drop-down menu of all the information I would not have, but remember, my blog or my tips, service plus tips, or whatever you've named your blog, that is a top level page because all of my informational content is housed within that page. So I'll have my blog, my about us, my terms, privacy, compliancy policy, meet the team, all my service pages. That's linked header footer. There's no question. But am I going to list all my blog pages in a header or a navigational menu? No, I'm not. I don't see why I would want to pass site-wide relevance to informational content. I wouldn't want to. Only top-level, high commercial intent pages, okay? The only reason I'm linking in the head and foot for blog is because those are top-level pages. Those are pillar pages, however you describe them or however you understand them. It's website.com/top-level page. That's it, all right? And or at least that's how I'm describing it, okay? So hopefully that helps you out. All right, so Keith says, and thank you for your question, Keith. Keith says, I'm getting ready to launch PR. One link to the homepage, one link to the main service page. Would it help to launch another PR for new location city pages at the same time? So yes, but generally, so the answer is yes. Any top level service page, it's great to build links to these pages, all right? But generally, the issue lies in budget. So if budget is not the constraint for you, then when I build out a PR, let's just say I'm building PR in yellow, let's just say. I'm building my PR no matter what to the homepage because in the bottom of every press release, there's a homepage link. And then I also want to build premium PR, so my better links, they're more expensive. Your Yahoo, your AP Newses, maybe Bloomberg, maybe your top shelf stuff, right? Business Insider, maybe, that type of stuff. You're going to build it to your top level page, so this one right here, right? You're going to build it to your homepage, and then you might pick one service page to include inside that article along with the top level page. So one service that's related to the other links, because the article is about your service, right? And your brand and who you are and what you do and where you're at. So what you're looking to do is build one to the homepage. That's a give. You're going to build it to the top level page, and then you might want to pick one other service page. Like, let's just say if you were in Denver, Colorado, and that's a big city, or that's a really hard city for you. Let's just say, for instance, Denver, Colorado for your primary term. That's a hard one. That's going to need extra love, extra links. I might want to include that in my premium press release. Now let's talk about basics. Should I deploy links to these other pages, like these other service pages? Not information, but other service location pages. And the answer is yes. And here's what's great about these. You're going to get a link to the homepage no matter what, because that's a give. And then within the article, you're able to add an embed to your maps. So that's an API URL. And you get to also include up to 3 links. So what you're looking to do is you're looking to build that link to the homepage, one to the maps embed, and then you pick 3 separate pages that are all about the same thing and point links to each of them. All right. So to answer your question, yes, velocity of links isn't an issue unless the velocity of links is pointing to one page. See, Google's not ranking the site, they're ranking individual pages, right? So when we're building links, you could build, not that you would, but you could build 3,000 links all in one shot, no matter what, but they need to be mixed. They need to be to different pages. So let's just say it's the basic PR, that's 500 links. 500 links going to 3 separate pages is not an issue. That's like a blip. All right, so hopefully that answers your question. Okay, moving on down here. So Keith, good question there. Larry D, I need an on-page audit and help. I am like that taxi guy in one of your videos. Yeah, we ended up not taking on the taxi guy, even though he was a great guy. Yeah, we passed on that particular project, but that's okay. And Larry, I don't mind helping. Callum, but Larry, if you need that extra additional help and you need a significant amount of time, I would either urge in the next session, right, to do like, hey, when we meet live, hey, we could go over that and we can build around that. Maybe I won't talk to you for that long. Or if it's going to be really, like, you really need a lot of time, I would just go book a half hour or an hour. Okay. So Callum says, is it okay to purchase Facebook reviews, as we can link Facebook to GBP so a higher score looks good? Okay. So Callum, in a public forum or a public setting like this, right? We're on YouTube, and I'm in a consultant role, right? I can never give a recommendation to do something that's against guidelines. Now, I can give you my opinion though, right? So would I do it, or would I recommend doing it? No, because it's against the guidelines and you don't want to risk anything. Now, could it be helpful? And can you get away with it? Those are 2 separate thought processes. Will it be helpful? Definitely. Can you get away with it? Probably. But should you do it? Is the risk worth the reward? And that's something that you have to answer for yourself. All right. So good question though. Hammy says, hello, sir. Suggest me a backlink strategy for my service site, please. Now I've gone over this extensively, Hammy, but at the end of the day, the strategy for us, for almost every local business owner, is, other than doing the optimization, we're just talking about backlinks. It's going to be citations, directory, niche, paid, and geo-specific citations. Along with that, data aggregation submission, guest posts, press releases, and premium press releases. That's it. All right. Now, the volumes and how many of what you buy is wildly dependent upon your leading competition. You'll get the blueprint based upon who's above you and what you need, like what's your deficit? How many do you need? What do I need? Right? And then the guest post types are based upon the category that you need to build into. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Rank Dominion. Chris, And thank you for your question, by the way. Chris, if I already ordered a citation campaign from your service portal for my homepage, can I run another citation campaign to a top-level service page or a city-specific service? Can I run another citation campaign to a top-level service page or a citation-specific? Okay. If you only have one GBP verified listing and you've done the initial 60 USA, it's like a top general list. You know, like if you go to any of the top providers or alleged top providers out in the marketplace to buy citations, this is your general best list, okay? If we've already built those, then what I would be looking to do is build directories, unless you have other GMBs, but I'd be looking to build directories and Web 2 and PR to those other pages, okay? But directories is the key phrase that we're looking for, all right? I'll be looking to build directories because we don't want to double up on the same locale going to these other pages. It wouldn't make much sense to repeat, okay? Could you? Yes. I think there's a better way to do it. We're looking at PR and directories and Web 2.0 pointing to those pages. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Larry says, I heard you tell the taxi guy in a previous video he could get a listing live, not address, no phone, website. Would love some insight. So Larry, if you needed or if you wanted to play that game, it is relatively easy to create a listing that's, you know, sometimes you get them verified, but if you're looking to create a service area business GMB verified listing. Now, sometimes you won't be able to get your phone number to show. Sometimes the website won't show, but the number will show. But if you go into a trusted Gmail account, go into Maps, right click and add your business, you might be pleasantly surprised. Make sure it's a different phone number than what you used previously. And that's all I can say about that in this capacity, but hopefully that helps you out. Madassar Nazar says, how can we content analysis of website like kitchen renovation in Sydney? How can we analyze kitchen renovation in Sydney? Okay. So let's say that this was the term, okay? And I'm going over this extensively in the on-page optimization training, but let's say that this was the term. Some key things that I just want to point out to you are going to be this, all right? First and foremost, we have some volume, so that's a bonus, check. So we're looking at that, but then we're looking to see what is Google rewarding, right? What is the word count? Okay, this is SEO Quake. So I'm looking at the word count of the top performers, so then I can come up with an average on the word count that I need to create. The next aspect of optimization for keyword analysis is going to be, well, how many times are they using the primary term? So if the primary term is kitchen renovation in Sydney, 4 words, how many times are they using kitchen renovation in Sydney in their body content? The next step of optimization is going to be, well, how many headers do they have on their page? Headers, right? How many zones are on the page? And then last but not least, and again, I break all this down, but the last piece is going to be, well, how many keywords are in the headers? Once you have word count, density, word count, density, header count, and header optimization, your job is almost done. Almost done. Then there's creating the content, tweaking the content, pruning the content, keyword gap analysis within the content, adding schema to the content, images, image optimization. There's more, but that is the general basics of that question that you just asked. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. All right, moving on. All right, so Richard Johnson says, "Hey Chris, I have a power link. Here, I'm gonna have to, let me just move this stuff out of the way here. And I'm gonna ask for a moment in a second here to use the lavatory. I'll answer 2 more, and then I just have to use the lavatory briefly. Okay? But then I'll be right back. But anyway, I'm going to answer these 2 questions by Richard here. All right. And then I have to just use the lab for 1 second. But hey, Chris, I have a high power link coming into a worthless YouTube video. Okay. Other than adding a link from the YouTube video to a web page I'm ranking, can I do anything else? Well, it's 1 link, right? You can make the decision to embed the video, so you can put a link there and then embed it. Also, if you're the owner of that video, you can make a brief edit to that video because the URL won't change. But besides embedding it and adding your link, there's not really much else you can do there. Plus, it's only 1 link, but I understand that it's a great link. Besides that, any way to upload a new video using the same URL or some sort of 301 black hat technique? Well, that's what I'm getting at as a edit. There is a editor inside of YouTube. I'm just trying to debate. I don't believe you can upload more. The only thing you can do is you can remove some stuff, right? There's not anything off the top of my head that's ringing out that you can do with that. I mean, other than embedding it into your page, adding your link, and then, because you can't add more content to it because the URL is going to change. There's not much else you could do. You can syndicate that video so it picks up even more steam. But besides that, I can't think of anything other than putting a really good thumbnail on there that's going to have, you know, a picture of us, maybe the brand, maybe a link back to our asset, because that's something you can change. All right, but excuse me for 1 moment and I'll be right back. Just give me 2 minutes, if you will, please. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be 2 seconds. I won't be long at all. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back. I apologize for that brief interlude, but back at it. All right, so Marius Pedro Prida, apologies. Hey, Chris, how safe is the use of Money Robot, GSA, SER, or other link builder tools, and pointed towards tier 1, 2, many thanks. Okay. See, the problem lies in the relevance. You know, when you start building out tiers, you can change the relevance of the links that already exist. Because if I'm tiering backlinks, that means I'm building links to links. The only trouble that we've ran into is if you're just blasting willy-nilly, you can quite dramatically change the relevance of those links. And what I mean by this is a site is about what the links that are pointing to it. So here, let me give you an example. Okay, here, give me one moment. Bear with me here. Okay. This must have been something. Here, let's just go to, well, let's just look at this site, okay? So if I'm looking at this, what I mean by messing up the relevance of the site, and the site is actually about what the links say it's about, is when we look at, and Google classifies sites just like the tools do, all right? Now, when we're looking at a link graph, what this site is about, and if I want to get into the link graph, you look at the category of links that are coming in, and this is a foundation site, so it makes sense that it's business industrial. This is the category, right? If you go look at top performers in this category, I would venture to, in these SERPs that this particular website's competing with, I can almost guarantee that the top performers will have business industrial as a top category. This means that the links that are pointing at it are in the link graph of business and industrial, okay? Now, if I'm using tools like Money Robot or GSA, let's focus on GSA because of the amount of links. See, Money Robot's a closed system, right? It's a UI built onto a PBN, essentially, okay? Let's look at GSA, all right? Open system, it crawls, it creates by itself. It could, okay? I generally use lists that we've been curating over the last decade, it feels like. But with that being said, if I'm using GSA, which is just going out and grabbing and can lay whatever, I can quite dramatically change the overall backlink profile of a website by pointing a bunch of irrelevant links at the links that are already pointing there. So I can quickly change this backlink profile. If I go through here and start, not these better links, but the stuff that's down below, if I start firing in links that are about games and computers, I could quickly change the relevance of the links, and it could overall hurt my website. So now let's go back. Here's why I'm giving the answer. All right. Now, can you build these links? Let me get back to this question here now. All right. So is it safe to use Money Robot and GSA or other link builders in order to power up my tier 1 or tier 2? And the answer is it can be. But when you're building these links to get the most noticeable effect, you're going to build to the lowest quality links in order to improve their overall equity. But where you can have the least amount of detrimental effect or harmful effect on your website is by pointing these links to the highest powered links that you have pointing to your website, like citations and press releases. Right? These types of links, they're higher equity, they're higher quality. You can point 1 trillion links. It's not going to change. This site's a new site. Yahoo, you can blast your PR to the moon. And the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to increase in UR or overall page authority. Okay. So maybe this is too much information, but what I'm getting at here is the answer is yes. But you need to be very selective on the amount and which links you are actually deciding on building and where. Okay? And those are the reasons why. So I hope that helps you out. As far as Money Robot, I'm not a big fan of Money Robot. I've used Money Robot. I've used it in the past. That's a closed system. It's built on subdomains. The sites that you actually get equity from are subdomains of actual domains. So they're brand new, fresh. They're not really passing much equity, in my opinion. So it's just not for me. So hopefully that answers your question. I guess the long story short is just blast your PR, your citations, your directories, your higher equity stuff. You'll get a little bit of an extra lift. You'll be able to pass really good, strong anchor text towards those links without any harm. Now, I know a gentleman that's in the mugshot space that builds links only the best. So the lowest amount of outbound links, only stuff that's page rank 2 or better, right? Because within GSA, you can pick page rank. There's only, I believe he picks anything that has less than 10 outbound links on it. So only the best of the best. So if you run a list that's, say, 10 million links total, he's only looking to build the best out of that tool. So I've seen it done direct to the site to success, but I've seen more success by utilizing it for tiers. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Callum, should I build out all of the social profiles on the GMB? Like, should a dentist build out TikTok with thin content purely to enhance the visibility on maps? Cheers. Okay. Unless you have a system, which is very easy to set up, all right? Unless it's something that you actually use, like I don't see yes, you should have the platform, but I would more focus on the platforms that you actually use and that you can update. And then 2, if you go looking, some of the top social medias to have are Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, right? Or X, whatever you would like to call it, Reddit. Like, get those social medias, the stuff that's being rewarded by Google, and it can paint our brand in a very good light. So it's up to you. But do I think it's a good idea to have all the social medias? Yes, for sure. But are you going to be updating them? That's up to you. That's up to you. All right. Hanny G Jr. Honey G Jr. That's a tongue twister. He says, hey, or she maybe even. But any case, and one more question is how to write supporting content for top pages. Should I use main service and location in supporting content for internal linking? Thank you. How to write supporting content for top pages. Should I use main service and location in supporting content? All right. How to write supporting content for top pages. Should I use main service and location in supporting content? So supporting content is there to support the main topic or the main idea. All right. So if the main idea is a high commercial intent keyword, let's just say that it's personal injury lawyer. All right. So that's website.com/personal injury lawyer. I'm going to have a / my location pages, but I'm also going to have, well, how much does a personal injury lawyer cost? When should I hire a personal injury lawyer? Where do I find a personal injury lawyer? These types of questions. So with that being said, am I going to talk about locational information on supporting pieces of content? This goes back to another strategy, okay? At some point, you've created, fine-tuned, indexed, and ranked all of your top-level service pages. Also, at some point, generally within 8 to 12, 16 months, somewhere in that range, you've usually already created your city pages, you have them optimized, and they're ranking. They're page 1, page 2 maybe, right? But they're indexed, they're there, everything's indexed and it's created. And also at some point, you've already created all of your informational content. You've answered the who, what, when, why, where, how questions about your primary services. So that means you have all your primary service pages indexed and ranking. Ranking meaning it's on page 1. right? Page 1, top of page 2, about to rank. You just need more links. You've also created all of your service pages and you've created all of your info content. Well, where do you go then? Where does the client go? Paid ads, social media, right? Those are some places and that's recommended. But where else do you go? Well, then you can start creating informational content that's geo-specific. I can answer questions that pertain or support the city pages. And some of these questions could be like, how much does a personal injury lawyer in Houston cost specifically? So we first have pages that are talking about personal injury lawyers and how much they cost generalized, but then we're talking about specifically in Houston on average, using statistics, using other pages, right? Using information that's readily available. You can write out geo-specific content. So note here in this format, I'm looking to explain everything fully. Okay. So to answer your question, can you build or should you build geo-specific informational content? Yes, but not until my primary service and my supporting content and service location pages are up, indexed, and ranking. All right. Like that's last, like this is months down the road. Like it could be years down the road, depending on your pace. Okay. All right, moving on. Thank you, sir. My pleasure. I'm glad to help. All right. Takes a while. Okay. Thank you for your prior answer. Thank you for your answer, Chris. Should I focus on quality? Okay. I must have scrolled too fast. Okay. So more than SEO. Found a new link type from Web3, virtual lands tied to actual latitude and longitude for physical addresses. They seem to improve Google local rankings. How would I structure a proper test for consistency? Virtual land tied to actual longitude and latitude. I would be wildly, see, this goes back to a test that we did, right? This reminds me very closely to a test that we did related to onion router websites. So if you create a website that's hosted, if you want to call it the dark web, right? So on Onion Router, those are sites that are reachable, but only through a special browser. Well, we created one of these sites, all right? And we wanted to know that, hey, if I link over, does it show up? Does it on a brand new site, does it do anything? And we found that the answer was no. It was never searched. It was never crawled. It was never indexed. Search results aren't the indexed, mind you. So with that being said, I would be massively inclined to see an example if you could put it in. I would love to see any example of where this is or where it's indexed or where it's been seen or crawled by Google. Like, is this Web3 virtual land? Okay. Where is that tie? Like, how could Google crawl and get to that to understand what it is, to be able to pass relevance and rank to an asset? That's all I'm curious of. Show me an example. Okay. Olga says, should we now focus on quality of links than the quantity? Is usual guest posting dead? Should we invest in such things as quality outreach, ABC Exchange, Haro? What do you think? I always think that a diverse backlink profile is in our best interest. It's still, no matter whom, whether it's white hat, gray hat, black hat, green hat, purple hat, red hat, you know, no matter whose study you read or which frame the article has been written in, referring domains is a factor, right? The amount of votes pointing to a website is a factor, at least to Google. Okay. Now, how those votes are made up, even the best sites that rank the best, still have links from all over the web. Okay. So do I think that in 2024 we should put more emphasis on higher quality stuff? Well, yeah, but that's never changed. If you can afford it, the only reason why you take shortcuts or you skimp or you do, you know, to some may be perceived as odd strategies is because you're trying to cut corners and save dollars or time, right? So if you have the budget and you have the time and you can put forth the budget, the time, and the effort in order to only do quality, then of course, definitely focus on that, you know. But for a vast majority of websites, you know, even horror, like we are, not to toot my own horn, but we have some of the cheapest, not some, we do the cheapest horror links that are found on the open web that I have found. And still at $200 a unit, $100, $180 a unit, it's very hard to get enough referring domains to actually make a dent. All right. So to bring that full circle, okay. Should you focus on high quality stuff? Absolutely. But we need a diverse backlink profile. So if you have the money to invest in only the best of the best of the best, awesome. But oftentimes I need to be able to make up some of that deficit. So some mid-tier stuff is definitely up your alley. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Madasar Nazar, thank you for your answer. It's my pleasure. I'm glad to help. Compass Carpet retracted. Okay, no problem. Only Natural Design says, could you draw out internal linking from blog pages to service plus location pages? What builder do you like to use in WordPress? I need something light. Okay. So there's 3 questions there. Okay. So I like this one, Breakdance. WordPress theme. You can use Breakdance, which is by the makers of Oxygen. This was referenced to me by I consider him a friend now. His name's Scott. I won't say his last name, but his name's Scott. He referenced this. It's by the makers of Oxygen. It's awesome. I use it. I have it. I own it. I bought a key, right? The other one that I really, really enjoy is, I spelled that wildly wrong. There's Oxygen Builder. It's great. It doesn't have all the beautiful templates and all the fancy, but you could do a lot of customization. This is not this isn't for everybody, but I have a key. I use it. I love it. And it's a great tool. The one that I've recently been using, and it's found on my own website, which I love, is called Live Canvas. Okay. Live Canvas is what I currently have on my own website. It loads lightning fast. Okay. It's a Bootstrap 5 WordPress page builder, build high quality, responsive, that reach top speed in your results. And I think the last time I was checking one of my pages with embeds, with ads running, like with a YouTube embed and all that, I think I was still hitting 700 milliseconds. Okay. So it flies. And last but not least, on some of our new build outs, we're using bricks.io. All right. And this is yet another really good builder. So as far as builders, lightweight, look good, work good, good for SEO and speed, these are the ones that I would recommend because these are the ones that I use. Right. Also notable theme mention, Cadence. Not that I personally have used it yet, but I know lots of builders that utilize it and it flies. All right, so that's that. Now let's talk about internal links. Okay, to the second part of your question. Okay, here, let's start this back over. All right, here, let's see if we can rewind some of this. I think don't I have the ability to back it up? Okay, good. Okay. No, I don't? Okay, that's fine. All right. Let's see here. Enhance. All right. Okay. Oh, here's the lasso. This is really cool. And you can hit delete. Here, I'm gonna try to not try. I'm gonna draw this out to the best of my ability. Okay, my drawing again. I'm not claiming to be an artist at all. All right, but here's the breakdown or the association of city pages to having informational content that's interlinked on city and top level pages. So say you go out there and you create city pages. All right, so here, website.com, or informational, I should say. Okay, so service information. Okay. All right, and here, just to round this out, just so there's no question on what I'm talking about, we'll do website.com. Okay. So now let's look at the hard structure, and then we can discuss how we'll interlink this, which is very simple once you understand the hard structure. Website.com is the homepage. Okay. Website.com/service is primary service. Then inside, now this is a category, okay, or a folder. This is where we're building our depth of concept, okay? So I have top level service page. I have service plus service location. Now I could have 20 locations, 50 locations, 1,000 locations, but they're all under and forming depth of concept for my primary service. Now we're going to talk about information. So I have service/information. So now I've created a hard silo, a hard structure that is conveying to a robot, hey, this is my main idea, and all of this is my depth of concept about this idea. I have these locations I service, and then I have information about this service. Okay? Now, let's talk about this. Homepage, we're just going to build this out right here. Homepage. Primary service. Primary service has locations. Okay, they have locations. But primary service also has informational. Okay? So now we have information and we have service. Now as we just talked about, service, service location, and service and information. This is all underneath the main service. Now, how do I interlink it all? Well, what we like to use is a sidebar. Okay? So inside of this sidebar, I can list all of the informational content that I have created about the service. Who, what, when, why, where, how, and a best of. 7 pieces of content. This sidebar that has my informational content can go here, 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 and here. Now, don't forget, on the home page, in my main navigation, and in my footer, I have a link, internal link, going to my top level blog page, right? So in this case, it would be service tips, we'll just say. So I'm internally linked here going to my blog where all my blogs are housed, but really my blogs are just supporting content to the main service. But I digress. The services and the supporting content is internally linked in the sidebar on top level pages, other supporting content, and location pages. You do it in the sidebar. It could be on the right, it could be on the left, and then in this section right here, I call it an internal linking block. You know, where you have a list. You know, we used to put it at the footer and it'd do it site-wide. You know, the list of locations. Well, right here in the middle of the content, you have your list of locations. You put your locations here. And then when we're on this page here, we have that same block, list of locations. List of locations, list of locations, list of locations, list of locations. Now the amount of internal link flow going to my supporting and to my primary service pages is very high. And this is how you internally link that. Okay. All right, moving into the next. So that was only natural designs. So next is Richard. So Richard Johnson says, thank you for the prior answer. For clarification, are you saying that embedding the YouTube video on the page I am ranking will pass the power of links going to YouTube better to the money page? If you embed it, it's like passing a link. Yes. Yes. Because you said, what is the ways, or what are some ways to, there's a powerful link pointing over here. How can I get some benefit from this? Well, you could embed it. You could put a link to your website in the comment section or in the description, and then take that video and embed it into your page. I'm not saying it's going to pass like a link or get a boatload of power, but it's one way to pass some relevance back and forth. Okay, hopefully that helps you out. Paul Silva says, what do you think about creating a niche blog in present day? Is it still lucrative? Well, I'm building out a niche blog for myself that's hyper related to, I mean, it's a niche blog. So depending on your category or your services, or not necessarily services, but like at the end of the day, you have to be selling something for it to be lucrative. So depending on what the actual sale is there still money to be had? Of course. As long as people are still reading web pages, and it's clear as day that they are, then yes, there's going to be opportunity. Now, is it as crazy as it was in 2008 or 9? Probably not. Like, do I think you're going to become, independent off of one site in less than a year? No, I do not. But do I think that it's something that you could build up over time and make a decent income in the United States? An okay income? Of course. Of course. Now, I know gentlemen that are in other countries that make a full-time living off of creating niche blogs. Like, these guys have 6 kids, they have a family, but they're in another country. Like their whole business is right there. So, yes, it depends on what you're selling and where you're at and what you're talking about. So hopefully that helps you out. And if you're debating in your mind if you should get started, you should get started yesterday, for sure. Because I can promise you this, whatever you're thinking of, it's going to take you longer than you think. It's going to cost you more than you think, and it's going to be harder than what you think. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for it. I would go for it, even if you have an idea. I'd rather have an idea and execute and fail than always wonder like, oh man, I should have did that, or just go for it, man. Just go for it. Tanya, hey Chris, I watched the interview. You were talking about your lead generation network. Yes, that's a fact. That's a primary business for me. Awesome stuff. What's new with this project? What's new with this project? Well, there's a lot new with that project. Most notably, a lot of the pages that we were creating, I think I even mentioned it. I'm not sure which interview or what, which frame we're talking about. I don't know if it was Mastermind or with Julian or Craig, or in a Mastermind or in maybe even a consulting session that was recorded. But what I do know is where we were launching out a massive amount, about 38,000 pages at a time. What we quickly realize is when we're launching out into all states, all cities, Google generally rewards you for a section, right? Like they'll reward you heavily in a particular region or certain states and certain cities. So what we started doing was launching, seeing what's being rewarding, and getting rid of the fluff. Also, too, where we were creating hard silos in big, huge, at massive scale, what we quickly realized was it's good to have top level pages, but then for this industry, run the rest flat. So what I mean by this is, let's just say it's home real estate. So it's website.com/home real estate. And then you have home real estate Austin, home real estate, I don't know, Dallas. Okay. Those home real estate Dallas, it wouldn't run after the silo, like the second level. We would still have our top level page interlinked to all the cities that we provide. But then if you were to click on that, it would actually be flat after the root. So there's been some learning, at least in that niche. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Dark Messiah. Dark Messiah. Does it take a while to notice bumps after starting Money Robot? It's been so long. I think the last time I fired up Money Robot was 2021. The end of 2021, maybe the beginning of 2022. So it's been a while. I couldn't even tell you what it looks like. I doubt I even have it on my machine anymore. Yep. Gone. So here we go. Does Money Robot tier here? So this was a test that we ran. Does Money Robot tier 1 increase overall rankings? So I'm just trying to look for, so October 20th of 2022. Whoops. All right, so there you go. Okay, so this was the last time we played around with it. Okay, so does Money Robot tier 1 increase rankings overall? Okay, building Money Robot to the tier 1. Okay, now you know. Knowing's half the battle. And I can say after that series of testing, we're not using it anymore. So I guess you got your answer. But hey, Keith says, after building city service pages, would you go in and build local citations for that city? Can you do this if you don't have an address for that city? Do you have to use different citation companies? Okay. So citations and directories are very similar, but the key difference here to a structured citation or a directory is that double verification piece, verifying the address, being able to put just a zip code as opposed to an actual address or a physical address. So to answer your question specifically, what you're looking to do is, if you can get niche specific or hyper geo-specific, like town specific, at a chamber in a town, by all means, go for it. It's not something that I can help you with. But what I can help you with is building or scaling out directories to each of those levels. Another thing that would be wildly helpful that I don't offer yet, but you can go and purchase, is data aggregation submission. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. All right. Haji says, sir, can you tell me one site domain name that you ranked? I want to look how you do linking in URLs. Most recently, one that I'm allowed to show, and I don't mind showing, is we just went out there and did pool repair Miami. So here, alligator pools. So we did pool repair. That's just a harder section that we went for. But then he does pool resurfacing. Pool resurfacing, number 3. Yeah, and then here's the like, it's exactly what I tell you guys. Top level page. Here's the actual Oh, I must have clicked something. So we have a top level page, which is going to the state, and then we have our city pages, right? Coral Gables, Cutler, Kendall, right? Top level pages are all here going for Florida. And then underneath it, to build depth of concept, we're targeting the locations. All right. On top of that, I believe, our goal was set the pages up, optimize the pages, and get the pages in there. But that's the most recent. I'm public, right? So I have to get green lights from clients before I can show stuff. But that's a recent project that we just finished, that I got the green light. The owner's name is Chris. Super cool. We work together. He's super by the book. Everything's on the up and up, so I don't mind showing it. And he already gave me the green light, so there you go. All right. And this gentleman right here, coming up here soon, maybe we can, once we get this project done, there's another gentleman, a client here that I'll be able to show, Ollie G. Not yet, but once we're done, we're almost done. We just did a huge rehaul for this particular gentleman here. I won't talk about it until I get the green light from him, but this was huge. I mean, we're talking 2, 3, I think about 400 pages total. Lots and lots, not only primary service pages, but also secondary service pages, taking care of the internal linking, new build out, just really just ravishing, just going in there and doing what we do best, basically. All right, Tanya, SEO. Okay, so here we go. More Than SEO. I love that name, More Than SEO. There are many non-Google Maps platforms which are getting indexed in SERPs. Mopra. Is this the same person? Oh, I see. What, did you go through More Than SEO? Did you go through a fun training that's recently been floating around? Because these terms and platforms are very reminiscent of a training that I just watched. So I'm not sure what you're going through, but I'm gonna read this, and I love the name, by the way. In fact, here we're gonna do one better. Here we're gonna click on this. More Than SEO. It's More Than SEO. I love it. I was gonna make my name Chris Palmer is SEO. I was seeing if you had some content out there. All right. Anyway, let's read. Okay. There are many non-Google platforms which are getting indexed in SERPs. MapHub, Virtual Globetrotter, etc. Are you seeing any benefit to building out these maps for local citations in DR45? That reminds me of, remember at Harvard, you used to be able to create these gorgeous maps and get a harvard.edu maps link back to your assets. If you would like to see every single SERP, just like with Web 2.0, every SERP, Google rewards different assets, right? Just like with Web 2.0. This brings me to, is it valuable for me to go out and build all the Web 2.0s? No, it's not. But it is valuable for me to go out and build the Web 2.0s that in my keyword and keyword sets are being rewarded by Google, right? So with that being said, if you have the time to go out and figure out, well, which of these map platforms are going to help me? Which ones are going to hurt me? Which ones are going to index? Which ones are being rewarded? Which ones aren't being rewarded? If you have the time to go through this and create them, then by all means, definitely go for it, right? If these are free or complimentary links that could be built, then grab them. But note, anytime something's free, right? either free or easy to get, it generally only has a shelf life of a short period of time. So the value and the work and the effort and the time might only be a short run. So if you want to grab it in the short term, by all means, go for it. But what I would do is I would focus on what's tried and true, what has continuously proved to be effective over the course of time. And that's where I would focus my attention. So I hope that that helps you out. Tanya, SEO about match and exceed. When doing on page, you can match competitors by looking what is ranking already. Any framework you use for the exceeding. SEO is about match and exceed. Match and mirror and exceed. That's right. When doing on page, you match competitors by looking at what is ranking already. Any framework. The framework is simple, and I take it directly from Kyle Roof. Kyle Roof, a long time ago, many moons ago, 2014, he gave up the equation right when, see, I was one of the first members. I was buying Page Optimizer. It was $1 a run, right? Anyway, a long time ago, he had an initial training, a very crude training that was related to on-page SEO, very crude, right? But within that training, he broke down the mathematical equation that was utilized within the tool. And what the mathematical equation was, if you want to go this finite, you don't have to, but you can, for exceeding, is 2 standard deviations above the average. So I've always ran with that. All right. It's never pushed me. Once I find what the average is, I know that we're 2 standard deviations above the max. You can go 2 standard deviations above or below. And then generally you're within optimization. So with that being said, that's what you can do. Or I like to use what I call the over and under. All right. Over and under is a lot more simple. It's a lot easier. And what this will be is I'm figuring out what the word count is from the top performers, right? So I'll go grab the top 10 performers, add it all up and divide by 10. There's my average. And then I'm looking at primary keyword density from the highest amount of times to the lowest amount of times. So the top person says SEO 70 times. The lowest person that's ranking, number 10, says it 10 times. Well, I know that I need to get my zone in between this range. And that's how I do it, right? I figure out what the average is and I figure out, well, what's the top guy doing and what's the lowest guy doing? What's in between is where we want to be. It's so much easier. It's so much faster. Or if you have a really cool scientific calculator, you can whip that out and do 2 standard deviations above. Either way. All right, moving on. But yeah, I mean, I liked Kyle's stuff so much that I was like, well, the lorem ipsum's cool, but can we do it with zeros? And then I ranked a page number 1 for Chicago SEO expert. Then I ranked a page number 3 for New York SEO. And then I was like, well, that's not good. Let's go for number 1. And I got New York SEO expert, number 1 with zeros. That was cool. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. Ollie G, I took 5,000 queries and examined them. And it seems like I'm getting 71% of people looking for how to do services, not about finding services, for the service being done for them. Idea? I took 5,000 and examined them, and it seems like... So currently, when we look at... So I don't know if you're talking about your property in particular. I would assume that you are, Ollie, right? Ollie G. But currently on the website, of course, what you currently have, the majority of visitors that are coming in are looking up information. because the vast majority of the traffic that you still get is about information, because the stuff that's ranking is informational. Okay. So that's probably why 71% of the people that are coming in are having queries about said topic as opposed to buying said thing, because that's what the content on the site currently is, which we've discussed, which we're eliminating. At some point, like, yes, you had high ranking pages initially for high commercial intent keyword. Let's just say it's BMW auto repair, right? For instance. But those got buried with how much does BMW auto repair cost? And it was overshadowed, and like that's what ended up ranking, because you had an over exceeding amount of informational content. So if I have more information than high commercial intent, what's my site about? Information. And then what's my site about again is the traffic that Google's sending me is what my site's about. So of course, if I had 5,000 people come through and they're all coming in off of information, that's a problem. I agree with you. And that's of course why you would rehaul your entire website. Moving on. Carlos, do you like Generate Press? I think so. Do you? I don't know if I use that. I don't want to say either way, because I never want to disparage anybody. They're making a tool, they're trying to produce something. It's not something that I use or I can think off the top of my head that I have used. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't recall though. But I think that's a popular theme, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, it's, do what's best for you. It's not something that I use though. Chris Crutchfield. Wait a minute, Chris. Chris Crutchfield. How do I know that name? Chris Crutchfield. Man, where do I know you from? Aren't you a personal injury lawyer guy? Aren't you a competitor? Man, I know that name from somewhere. I don't know from where. It's not this guy, is it? No. I like this guy. This guy's probably cool. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Man, I know that name. It's just eerie. Here's why. I don't know if somebody shared some pictures with me. They're like, hey, check out what they were looking at GMB images and putting, targeting OCR. And man, I thought I thought it was you, but maybe it's not. Anyway, Chris, great to see you. What do I think about Squarespace? Squarespace. I think I like Squarespace. I think it's easy to work with. It's simple. I have some lead gens on Squarespace. I have some lawyer assets that are set up for we've just basically literally created lead generation assets as if we're a law firm, but really when somebody rings the phone, it literally goes to a real law firm. So no, that's cool. Tanya, can you suggest any local service directory that is doing SEO the right way? I own a directory myself, looking for fresh ideas. Can you suggest any local service directory that is doing SEO the right way? Man, don't you, I don't know. When I think directory, I think Zillow, also too, have you ever seen Sparky's? That's a directory. There's a business up in Canada that does really good SEO. That's a directory for home services. They know what they're doing. I can't think of their name off the top of my head. But other than that, that's not particular or created for a specific niche, I can't think of it off the top of my head. All right. Carlos says you're right. Niche sites are still good. You have to not just rely on Google. Traffic to your affiliate sites can be from anywhere. There's no question. That's exactly correct. Compass Carpet Repair says best place to buy phone verifications for Gmails and maybe even GMB. See, the problem here is the people who sell phone number verifications, it will work. But when it reaches its threat, see, they're going to sell, like, let's just say it here. I don't use them anymore because I have my own system, so I don't mind sharing it. It's blue. It's got a blue check mark. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Text verified. Here you go. Blue check mark. See, just like I said. Anyway, so yeah, these guys work great. I've used them in the past. I'm not recommending them because here's why, and why I don't use any other service. We have our own. So what I quickly realized is, yes, it will work phenomenally. And here's why. So they'll get a number. They'll sell it as many times as they possibly can. And it'll go through, 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 and then it'll stop, right? Now it won't work for this person, and this person will be able to request a new number. So they're not mad. Meanwhile, all the verifications that happened before that get whacked because the number was used too many times, right? So this could happen a week later. It depends on how fast they sell verifications, right? So it's a really good system for the guy that's selling, a bad system for you. So if you need verification phone numbers, I would highly suggest going to AT&T, going to T-Mobile, open yourself up a business account so you can purchase phone numbers, right? T-Mobile has a great system where every 30 days you can request a different number, but you need a business account. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Oh, that's all I can share right now. Next, thank you so much. Didn't go through any other training. Found these on my own through Ahrefs. Sick. So they're indexing. Great. So I started testing, but not certain how to test properly to determine if worth adding to our link profiles. I mean, if it's GMB, it's up to you to decide on ethics, but we like to choose donors. So that's up to you. Does it get a result or not? As far as sites are concerned, it's very easy to spin up a site and be able to test on page and backlink factors. Go buy an XYZ domain or whatever domain you want. Set it up on a relatively cheap host. Usually when I'm testing domains, we'll go use a Sora host or something, or create like a Google Cloud, like just spin it up, Bitnami plus WordPress on Google Cloud, spin it up, reserve the IP, and do our tests. So either way is you'll have either a brand new, fresh website to test on, or you'll have a donor that's already ranking number 30. So if you do one thing and you get a lift, you know that you got a positive result. If it stays there, that's a neutral. If it dumps past 30, then you know you have a serious issue on your hands. All right. Excuse me 1 second. Let me tell this person to leave the premise. It'll take me 2 seconds. Such a wonderful phrase, yeah. Hakuna Matata. It ain't no plastic craze and it means no worries. rest of your days. All right, that was easy. I just waved them off. All right, moving on. Yes, love it. Do you use Rate Kyle's Page Optimizer Pro? Sir, okay, didn't go through, okay. Sir, ChatGPT content is suitable for local rank. Okay, sure. Why not? I'm sure with heavy modification. So for local websites that are creating informational content, you know, Gemini, Palm, OpenAI is, I'm sure that you can get some passed and indexed and ranking. I'm 1,000% positive of it. I know for a fact I've done it. But I do believe that there is still work that has to be done. There's nothing that you can just go and create, copy, paste, and move on. Unfortunately. Craig G, sorry if I missed. Do you use /rate Kyle's Page Optimizer Pro? So I don't know, Craig G, how long you have been watching some of my content or following me. But I don't promote almost anyone except for myself, right? But in the bottom of every video, I do promote certain things. I promote a lifetime offer from friends that are on AppSumo. Okay, I know Noah. I like the platform. I get it, right? So I'm cool with Noah. I promote. Okay. SEMrush. I've been a long time partner with SEMrush. I love them. I've been featured on their blog. It's a great tool. I use it every day. I promote it, right? Also in that list, early on, I worked with the gentleman at Surfer. For beginners, I always recommend Surfer for beginner people that don't understand certain aspects of SEO and they just want something that's easy and fast, but they're willing to pay a premium for a pretty UI. I recommend Surfer to beginners. For intermediate, advanced that understand SEO, they want a good price, they have quality, they have an agency and they're looking to scale, and they don't want to count the math by themselves, I recommend Page Optimizer Pro. And then coming up here very soon, but not to get an affiliate commission, but just because I love the tool and it's what we use internally, I'm about to add Ted Kabitis' tool, which is called Cora. Now, it's not fast. It's not for every SERP. It's for super tuned optimization in high competition markets where, you know, like you need to understand, you need to pull out the tape measure and analyze every single aspect. And that's definitely for an advanced user, but I want to promote it because I love him and I love his tool. But that's it. So back to your question. Kyle's tool, do I rate it? Do I like it? Love it. Do we use it? Not like we used to, but we still utilize it here and there. Do I recommend it? Definitely, for sure. Absolutely. So hopefully that helps you out. Carlos, yes, love it. More than SEO. My example link for the virtual landing pages getting indexed and served isn't showing. Maybe due to link in the comment. We'll send to your email for review. Just leave it in space. Put spaces in between it. Don't put .com or HTTPS or www. Just write the domain. Put a space com or space net. Just put a space. Write com space what it is. So I can copy it so we can look at it together. I think it would be super cool to see. All right. So Trevor Grubbs. Have you seen any SEO benefit or even lead generation benefit with metaverse gaming platforms like Spatial? Mind my pronunciations here, or similar. I see some getting indexed in long tail SERPs in big cities, but not sure the benefits. Man, you like this Web3 stuff? This sounds like some really fun. This sounds like some fun and interesting testing. You know what I'm saying? Man, you should come see us at our mastermind, the other mastermind, the testing group. Man, it would be cool to explore. I love different points of view. But man, you sound familiar to somebody that we were just talking to. Maybe I know you, maybe I don't. Let's see here. Uh, Man, you sound. Are you already in my group? Are you busting my? You messing with me? I'm just kidding. It's all good either way. Does AI content rank on your money or your life niches? Your money or your life? I'm trying to think. Do any of my clients? Most of my clients are loosely. I mean, I do a lot of personal injury, business law, trademarks, mostly personal injury. Do a lot of auto stuff, car dealers, auto repair shops. Nah, not I can't say I can't say 100% for sure. Because it's just not something that I'm into. I can't say for sure, so I'm not going to say it all, my friend. I don't have a great answer for that. Trevor Grubbs, is dropping map pins at addresses where a service company has performed their service useful in any way? Um, so this is interesting. So those My Maps that update and get views every day, like say you're connected to My Maps and you're tracking jobs that you've serviced and you're uploading content and images of the job and you're taking your pictures with your camera and you're at the job and you take a photo and you mark the pin and it's consistently getting updated and it's embedded into the site. Do I see that being helpful overall? Yes. But going in there and just adding that, no, I don't. But I'm sure you've seen, like, if you go and search like My Maps, like just search for My Maps, like site colon My Maps, and look at the ones that are showing up at the top, right? These are ones that are updated or they're tracking something. So Google is indexing them and keeping them indexed at a very high level. And then if you search for the primary keyword that these My Maps are attached to, you realize that the My Maps actually rank high for what they're optimized for, as long as they're continuously updated. And also depending on how many views they get. So with that being said, do I see a benefit in some capacity? Definitely. But for the vast majority of us, probably not. So hopefully that helps you. All right. And then only natural designs. Chris, your answers are very thorough. How can I talk more with you? Do you offer consultation? I do. If you can, if you will, head on over to chrispalmer.org. And then I really have two options. I can either offer and help you with white label services, or I can help you with consultation. Okay. And then if you're curious about more, and we're building this stuff out, but if you're interested in the types of service, this is currently what we're offering. Okay. And also the services that we provide here are the exact services that we utilize for our clients. All right. Everything is here. We're adding some new stuff, taking away some stuff, but it's pretty much all here. Okay. So that's that. And thank you for asking. And then Mark says, hey, Chris, if I change the title of a YouTube video, a recent one, does it affect its SERP position on Google? It does, but it will take time. Okay. So let's just see something here. My buddies are in here. I always like, so I'm playing around with something right now where I just tested that, like just recently. So I'll have a better answer or a more informed answer very shortly. All right. So we're playing around with not only playlists, but also video content, and it's answering that specific question, that amongst others too. So, good question. Great question, actually. All right. Well, I'm running out of steam here. I'm starving. I have 2 meetings after this. I might cut it, but just to give myself 10 or 15 minutes before my next meet, Thursday, it's, we do the masterminds. I have some consultations. I have a client that I need to meet with. Also, I guess a partner at this point. I have to meet with my partner. I need to meet with a client. And then I just have some personal things that I want to go and do real quick, like eat. But if you have anything else that I could help you with, please go ahead and ask. Next week, guaranteed, during this week, what I'll do is I'm going to submit a Restream URL. It's just like StreamYard, but cheaper and better. Okay. What I'll do is I'll give a Restream URL that you can join live. This way we can have the banners at the bottom. It'll do streaming. I can show images. I can put overlays. Your questions will pop up on the video. It'll just be way cooler. It'll be better for making other content, which is my goal. And we'll all be able to join together. You can show yourself. You don't have to show yourself. Show your face. Don't show an avatar. It's your mastermind. Do whatever you want. All right. What I'm looking to do, just as future reference, as you get in your last questions here, I'm building out mini trainings, but what I'm thinking about doing, what I'm going to execute on is I'm thinking about doing a 4-week beginning till end, like training. So I'm going to start promoting that, where it's like it done with me training. And I think that'll be super sick from beginning till end, like I mentioned before, servers, picking the server, which hosting companies, picking a name, which TLDs, WordPress, why not WordPress, static, why not static, a full training, a full training. And I think it'll be amazing. All right. So I haven't debated if I want to do website or maps, but it's going to be one of these. So in any case, let's go back here. Okay, so thanks, Chris. Another quick one. All right, so these will be the last 3 here. Just to give myself some time, I'm going to cut it just a little bit short today, just to give myself some very brief personal time before I have other meets. But Craig G, he says, thanks, Chris. Another quick question. I have keyword that ranks top 5, but impressions are super low, despite monthly volume around 10K. Why could that be? I have a keyword that ranks top 5 because you're in top 5, right? So if you have a keyword that gets a high monthly potential traffic, right? And you're in position number 5, only those top, like position 1 gets 26% of the clicks. I want to say that 7% of the clicks go here, number 5. It's either 7 or 5. It's such a small, minute amount of clicks actually see that position. So the reason why you're not getting the clicks that you deserve is because you're not in those upper spots yet. So what I would double down on is, hey, you're being rewarded there. You can either fine tune, build links, build traffic, start tweaking, or you can start building out more assets that are in the same niche or category and try to get more lures in the water, more pages up, right? Or do both if you have the resources and the time and the effort. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out. And then more than SEO to round this out, found a way to rank YouTube playlists number 1 in YouTube and also on page 1 in Google. I need help to get more views coming to the playlists. However, to generate playlist views above 50 views. Interesting. Well, that's a good problem to have, right? So I realized, so we built a website traffic. It's It's for traffic and impressions because we use impressions to help propel our map service. See, for our map service, we do clicks, conversion actions, however you want to look at it. We'll click on the maps, go to directions, we'll perform directional requests. But on a big piece of our success with that service is we do impressions, right? Searching for the brand plus location, just searching requests that are related to the brand and service. With that being said, when talking about YouTube, when we were playing around with, because I do YouTube, my clients are on YouTube, we wanted to build something for YouTube as well because there's opportunity, right? I'm in business, right? But with that being said, I have my own proxy service. What I realized though is you run through a lot of IPs creating accounts and creating traffic at scale when messing with YouTube. YouTube's ads and ad platform is just as strong, if not stronger, than regular organic. Like you run in, I burn through IPs when messing with YouTube. So I don't have a solution for you. But what I can say is you need a lot of active Google accounts with a lot of IPs, right? So I need to create accounts that are attached to IPs that I'm not already running traffic for something else. A headache, big trouble. So, but on a small scale, easy. Big scale, hard. So sir, when do you mostly come live? You can guarantee to see me live right here every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Unless I cut it shy like I'm about to right now. It's 10 minutes difference. Just because I have 2 other things I have to take care of, sir. And then last but not least, this will be the last question. Kicks in Barbershop. Hey, Chris, which backlink indexer do you recommend? I recommend Google. The Google Indexing API is what I recommend. Create a blob on Azure, create a sitemap, and put your links in there and run your sitemap through the Indexing API. Run the request to that sitemap. You'll find success. Either that, or if you want to do it the easy way, create a page on your website, put your URLs, and run it there. If you're just trying to index your own pages on your own website, not external links pointing to your website, then the Indexing API is definitely for you because that's what it's made for. Now, I know all kinds of workarounds and tricks to index external links coming in, which I just described. But if you're just trying to index your own stuff, the API, that's what it's there for. All right. It's to be able to make requests at bulk. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out. And thank you so much, Richard. More Than SEO. You can email me at founder@chrispalmer.org. That's founder@chrispalmer.org. More Than SEO. I'd love to see some of those examples. Maybe too, if you'd like to discuss some SEO testing and share some ideas, maybe I could give you a trial membership because I like what you have to say. I'd love to hear more. Send me an email, founder@chrispalmer.org. I'm going to check when I get off here. Maybe we can do something. I'd love to get maybe we can talk SEO in the group, of course. Hanil, Clicks, Mark Collier, Only Natural Designs, Trevor, Amir, More Than SEO again, Carlos, Craig G, More Than SEO again, Compass Carpet, Carlos, Tanya, Ollie G, Hanil Jr., Paul, Richard Johnson, Madisar Nazar, everybody that took the time to ask questions, engage with me. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing the time. Thank you for asking your questions. Next week, we'll all meet together. Hopefully we can see face to face. If not, at least come on, chat with us, ask your questions live. I'll pull your names up. I'll pull up your questions. I'll make shorts out of it. It'll be awesome. It'll be a movie, Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Many blessings and have a great night. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Real quick, the people that are here, SEO Mastermind with an S, all caps, at chrispalmer.org. That's the discount for this week. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.